to today's video. I have a palette tour for you. This is my main watercolor palette of 2022, and there are a lot of special beautiful colors in here, and in this video I'm just going to swatch them all and talk about them, share with you why I love them so much and why I decided to put them in my main palette. Little disclaimer before we jump in. This is not your perfect mixing palette. If you want a palette that is really great for mixing and brings a lot of variety, this is not the inspiration for you. But if you are looking for a palette filled with specialty colors, colors that are more muted and colors that are more like granulation and separating colors, then this video is definitely for you. I have only one rule when it comes to art, and that is that there are no rules. There is no such thing as a perfect palette. There's only something that works for you, that brings you joy, and that helps you create art that you like. That is the right tool for you. It's only tools. It's my palette, and you don't have anything to say about it. But you can be inspired if you like. You don't have to be. I'm using this watercolor paper to swatch on. It's the Fabriano watercolor paper. Let's start. How I organize my palette is starting with yellows and then cooperating browns in this more browny reddish range, then going from pinkies to darker browns, and then starting with greens. I have a lot of greens, I know, but I like greens, so I have a lot of those. Then I go to the more bluish greens, the teals, the dark blues, then I have the grays, and then some specialty colors. Let me begin with Naples Yellow by Rembrandt. I have a lot of Rembrandt watercolors because it's really easy to get them here in the Netherlands. Almost every art store sells them, and the quality is great. It's artist grade quality. And why I have Naples Yellow in my palette is because I really like it on its own. Not necessarily as a skin color, but more of a muted yellow. So I like to use it in combination with dark blues and purples, and I just find it a really inspiring color, and it's also great to mix and create muted greens with. Then we have Azo Yellow, Nickel Azo Yellow by Daniel Smith, and it's another beautiful yellow color. Also a bit more on the muted side, and I'm just going to paint all of these little beans for you today. And what I like about this yellow in particular is that you can make it darker. I will add in some more pigments. You can make it darker, but you can also make it lighter. And I will swipe away some of the pigments. So even though it's one color, it has a lot of tone variety, which I think is great in a color. And also a fun thing about this color is when you put down a darker color and you drop some of this color in it, it spreads out beautifully. Then we have my color I cannot live without, and I don't think this color is talked about enough, and it is green gold. And I have the one by Rembrandt. and it's also just like this color. It has a lot of tone variety. You could, in my old setup, I put this color next to the greens, but for this particular palette, it made more sense to me to put it next to my yellows. So that's what I did. And this color makes the most beautiful greens when you combine it with, let's say, indigo or another type of blue color. And also, it's just beautiful. Then moving on to this orange color by Daniel Smith. And it's also that type of color that has a lot of tone variety. And it's a beautiful orange color. That is just really inspiring to me. Then we have the Red Earth by Daniel Smith. And this is a very interesting color because it has a lot of granulation, and I think it makes it a fun color to add texture to your artworks or to mix and create very interesting color mixes. Let me check. Yes, it's Lunar Earth, this one. Moving on to a Schmincke color. This one is Schmincke Tundra Orange, and it's part of the Super Granulating set. And if you've watched more of my videos, you'll know that I am totally obsessed with these colors. They're so beautiful. Now we have By Monte by Daniel Smith. And this is a Primatech color. I think I would say that this is my favorite Primatech color because it's very unique and very beautiful. And the granulation on this paper is exactly what I am looking for. Then we have the first Winsor Newton watercolor. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm not super fan of the Winsor Newton watercolors. I think it's Meadow Lake Deep, but I'm really sorry to tell you that I'm not sure because I got this one second hand and I didn't write it down on the little pen, the half pen. Here we have a favorite of mine, which is Potter's Pink, Granulating Pink, and I have the one by Winsor and Newton, have Tundra Pink, and it's a beautiful, almost purpley kind of color. and it's wonderful. The Tundra Schmincke set is beautiful. All of the Tundra super granulating colors are in here except for the green one, because I don't really like that green one super much. Here we have another Daniel Smith color, and it's Perylene Violet. And this is an interesting color because when you first put it down, it looks almost like a wine color, kind of pinky wine color. But when it dries much more muted, which can make it a tricky color to work with, but it's beautiful. So it lives in my palette. And then we have Credon Rose by Daniel Smith. And it's a good pink mixing color. And I also like it on its own, but I don't use it on its own that much, only super watered down. And it's a very highly it's a very high pigmented color. Then we have Lunar Red Rock, this one by Daniel Smith. Quite a lot of Daniel Smith colors in here. And that is not necessarily because I like their binding best, but because they have a lot of special colors that other brands don't offer. And what you can probably tell when you see this palette tour is that I enjoy using specialty colors. So this one is Lunar Red Rock. Then we have another Primatech color, and this is Burnt Tiger's Eye. And it's good to mention that this one is a bit harder to re-wet, but it's a really beautiful, almost sepia kind of brown, but then it has a pinkish undertone. And I like this one for interesting textures, painting animals or chicken. I love to paint chicken, and you can just create such interesting textures with this particular watercolor. And also good to mention is that I got this one from my boyfriend, which is very sweet. Then we have another Schmincke super granulating color, but then from the 4 set. And this one is the super granulating brown color. And as all of the forest colors, this one has a greenish undertone, and it's a very interesting color. Then we have Sepia by Winsor Newton, and I also got this one secondhand. And I like sepia. There's a almost every brand has this color. Then we have another forest color, and this one is forest olive. So as the name suggests, this is an olivey kind of green color. Look how well these go together. And then we have Undersea Green. And this is a very famous Daniel Smith color. And there's a reason for it, because this is a beautiful green which also has a very interesting texture to it. And some of these colors are actually at their best when they are dried, so sometimes we have to wait a bit. We have another Winsor Newton color, and this is the Perlin Green. And this color is beautiful. It's a really deep green color. It mixes beautifully. It's just super good green to have in your palette. And it mixes beautiful with the green gold. So if you have both, try mixing them. Then we have another forest color, super granulating forest color. This one is a bit more opaque than the other ones, and this one is called Forest Green. They're all some sort of green color, but this one is, I guess, the most green out of all of them. And all of these forest colors have the most beautiful super granulation. Yep. And I like using them as a background. Beautiful. Moving on to another Primatech color by Daniel Smith. I need to look up. This one is called Green Appetite Janine. Janine. And this one also dries differently than when it is wet. Then we have another green color, and this is called, oh, I'm sorry, this one is Forest Gray, and now I'm going to swatch Forest Brown. And if you're wondering, do you need this many greens in your palette? No, you don't, but you can, and I decided to do it. Maybe in about a few months or weeks I will change it up, but at this particular moment I am enjoying the greens. Well, here we have another Daniel Smith very famous color, and this one is Cascade Green, and this one leans towards the blue side of greens. And this is definitely a color that I use a lot and I find very versatile. Then we have my favorite color from the Forest Super Granulating colors. And this one is Forest Blue. It's a beautiful, moody, dark blue color. More on the greeny side. And it's beautiful for, let's say, night skies or oceans or whatever. Then we have Cobalt Teal, and in this set I put the Daniel Smith Cobalt Teal. I also have the Roman Schmal Cobalt Teal, but Roman Schmal only comes in full pans, and in this palette I only want half pans. Then we move on to Indigo by Rembrandt. And Indigo is also a color that... Is this true? Oh, I'm lying. No, this is the Tundra Blue. I'm sorry. This is not Indigo, this is Tundra Blue by Schmincke. Beautiful. Highly recommend the Super Granulating Colors by Schmincke. And I have the Forest set and the Tundra set. The Ocean set is on my wish list. Then we have Lunar Blue. Another very famous color by Daniel Smith. And this color is great for night skies, moon textures, maybe even for icy kind of feels. Also good to mix with. It can create very interesting mixes. And this is a high granulating colors. A lot of the colors that I have are granulating. I also have a mixing, like a standard palette, that if I really want to mix a particular color, I can just grab that palette. But this is the palette with the most stunning and inspiring colors. Then we have a blue color by Daniel Smith, and it's another primitive color, and this one is called Mayan Blue Geneve. And this is a beautiful denim kind of blue, and it also has an interesting granulation to it. Then we have Indigo. Now we do have Indigo, and this one is by Rembrandt, or how we say it, Rembrandt. That was Dutch. And what I like about Indigo is that you can go really dark and moody, almost towards a black color, but you can also put it down very light. And this kind of color is just something that really speaks to me. Also, I have a lot of things in Indigo. Like when I like a particular new art supply, first thing I tend to do is get it in Indigo. Now here we have a color that is kind of misplaced in the palette. I won't lie, it should go here. But for me it makes more sense to put it here, because then I know how to find it. And this is Davies Gray by Rembrandt. And the reason why I have it in my palette is because I think it is a fun mixing color. Here we have Paints Gray by Rembrandt, and that is why this one is next to it, because then I can easily find it. Then the two colors with gray in the name are next to each other. And Paints Gray is very well-known color, and I think every brand has a Paints Gray in their collection. Now this is Moonglow. I don't think I have to tell a lot about this color, but I think this is Daniel Smith's most loved color, and maybe this is the color that really put them on the map, at least in my mind. Then we have the Tundra Violet. Man, this color, I wouldn't do a palette without this color. If I had to choose between Moonglow or this color, it would probably be this color. And they're next to each other because they're quite similar, but they dry different, which you'll probably see in a bit, because this has a orangey undertone and the Moonglow has a pinky undertone. We have Rembrandt Lavender. I know Rembrandt isn't a super well-known brand in the art community. I don't know why that is, but I enjoyed their colors a lot. They're really easy to re-wet, and they are nice to work with. Rembrandt is from the same brand as Van Gogh, and Van Gogh is a very well-known brand. So I really enjoy this color. Now here we have one student grade color. I have two student grade colors in this particular palette, and I want to upgrade and get these in the Rembrandt colors. So these two are by Van Gogh, and I put them here because then I can easily find them, and I didn't sort of color arrange them next to the other more green yellowy kind of colors. And this is their Dusk Yellow, and next to it is the Dusk Green. And I think these are very fun to work with, play with. And these are by Van Gogh. And if you've never worked with granulating colors, because I know that most granulating colors are only, you can only get them in artist grade quality. Try these two. These are student grade quality. A tube will cost you around 3 to 4 euros. You can work a lot with it. One tube will keep you busy for a longer time. And then the last color, and just to be a bit to break the whole thing that we were doing, I'm going to put it here so we have a nice format. And this is Oxide Black by Rembrandt. It's another granulating color, and this is the same pigment as Mars Black. Yeah.
And here you can see my palette. It's filled with all of these beautiful colors that I enjoy so much. I had so much fun sharing with you my colors that I have in my palette at this time. If you now you know my color preference, if you are thinking of a certain watercolor or a brand that you really want me to try or you think I will like, please let me know in the comments down below. Here I am slowly taking you through all of the colors now that the watercolors have dried on the paper. I truly enjoy every color that is in this palette. I think it's fun to swatch. It's already an art piece on its own when you only swatch it as a background. So I hope you find this video inspiring. If you like watercolor, if you like art content, make sure to subscribe because I'm uploading more videos. Truly this year I'm going to upload more videos for you, and I had a lot of fun making this and sharing my art love, my watercolor love with you. And like the video also helps me. And now I'm going to stop with this please support me stuff. And I'm going to end it here. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.